He's got bright rosy cheeks and a fluffy white beard with marshmallow walls and a big red chair. Santa's coming.
Ho, ho, ho,
Santa's
ho.
coming.
Welcome back to Santa Has a Podcast, where we get to talk about stories and laughs and all kinds of fun things from here at the North Pole, okay? Now, this week, before I get really started on anything else, I want to talk to you. I got a letter from a little boy who was very, very worried on whether he was on the nice list or the naughty list. He'd gotten into a little trouble, and so he was worried, where was he on Santa's list? Well, I know that all of you, and even Santa sometimes, we get into trouble. Sometimes I do something wrong and Mrs. Claus gets upset at me, okay? I know sometimes you may do something and somebody's upset at you and you might be thinking that you're on the naughty list. Well, here is the secret to staying on the nice list, okay? You have a day when you've been naughty, you have a problem, okay? Have more good days than bad days. The more good days you have, the less bad days, you stay on the nice list. It's that easy. So you want to have good days, right? How was your day today? Did you have a good day? That's what we want, a good day. You know, if you didn't get your homework done on time, oh, that might be a bad day. Well, the next day you better do your homework, get caught up, get back on the good list, okay? Can you do that? Stay on the good list, have more good days than bad days, and you'll stay on Santa's nice list. Okay, let's see. Before we jump into story time, because today I'm going to tell you some stories and things like that. Let's make a merry moment and go back at the riddle we gave you last week and see if you got the answer right to the riddle. Okay, are you ready? You remember the riddle? Here it is. I'm tall and I'm green with branches wide. Inside or outside, I wear lights with pride. What am I? Did you guess the answer? That's right. It's a Christmas tree. Ho, ho. Wow, I'm glad you guys are smart. You knew the answer to that one. You know, I love the riddles. It's always a bit of fun, and it makes you think with your mind about all the type of stuff you can do. Riddles can be so challenging, but sometimes so much fun, too. So anyway, that's great. Well, let's get back and talk a little bit about that naughty or nice list, I wanted to give you a little history on the naughty or nice list. I made some notes here about it, but, it began as a tracker kind of created by the elves. But even before the elves, St. Nicholas, remember I mentioned him in one of the previous podcasts where he helped people out and he helped them in need. He kind of knew who the good people were. And a lot of people thought, well, gee whiz, if he knows who the good people were, he might even know who's on the naughty list. And it kind of started a tradition where St. Nicholas and then Santa Claus and all the other Père Noël and Bobo Natale, we all kind of knew who was naughty and who was nice. And that way we knew who to leave a Christmas gift for or a treat, whether to put something in their stocking or put in a lump of coal, or something like that. So, again, we always knew who was naughty or nice. Well, anyway, the elves created a tracker to help me keep track of all the kids that are nice and all the kids that are naughty, because there's so many of you out there. The population keeps growing every year. And they update this on a daily basis from the information they get from the spirit meter. The spirit meter gets information about when you've done something good. So they know that information, they can put it over onto the naughty nice tracker and know what's going on. Now, don't get caught on the naughty list, okay? You do get mistakes once in a while, but like I said, have more good deeds, more good days than bad days, and you'll stay on the nice list, okay? And again, that's nice, okay? By the way, being naughty is not just maybe doing something wrong. Being naughty could be mean, could be selfish. You could be, just, not nice to somebody else. Hiding your best friend's toy, or if you got a brother or sister hiding one of their toys or something like that, that could be meanness, and that's naughty. So again, you remember, you got to be good and stay on the nice list. Can you do that? Will you do that? Great. I like to do that. Okay. Now, you may not know this about me, but I like to write. And I write stories sometimes, and I like to put them into print, and I type them out. I wrote one last night. I thought it was kind of neat, and I wrote this just for you guys, and I would like to read it to you. Would you like to hear my story? Wait a minute. I didn't hear you. Would you like to hear my story? Okay, that's good. Okay, here we go. This is The day the naughty list went missing. Yes, this is unique, okay? It all started with a little elf, okay? Once upon a December morning, the sun was shining over Gumdrop Mountains, and the North Pole was buzzing with excitement. Cookies were baking, reindeer were stretching and getting their exercise, and elves were singing their favorite rapping songs. But one little elf was not feeling jolly. Her name was Pickle, and she was one of the list keepers in my mailroom, Santa's mailroom. Pickle had a big job. She helped organize Santa's naughty or nice list. But lately, she'd been having a tough time doing all the work there. She spilled cocoa on one of the scrolls. She forgot to take care of a few letters and file them. And worst of all, she accidentally wrapped up her report of who was naughty and who was nice. She wrapped it in tinsel and shipped it to Australia. Now, it sounds kind of crazy. That's a little difficult. So she kind of felt bad. But I smiled. I gave her a warm smile and said, "Mistakes happen, Pickle. We learn, we laugh, and we're going to try again. Can we do that?" But Pickle still felt embarrassed. She was very sad that she had sent the list off to Australia. She wanted to be perfect, and not everybody can be perfect. So that morning, Pickle made a decision. She would fix everything all by herself. That's a big command, to do everything by yourself. Pickle tiptoed to the list room. She grabbed the naughty list scroll and she whispered, "Maybe if I hide this, I can rewrite it myself. I'll fix all the names and no one will know I ever made any mistakes." Wow, that's a big challenge. But the scroll was actually longer than Peppermint Highway. That's a long scroll. I mean, that's like if I unrolled the scroll and it just unrolled and it went a mile and 2 miles and 3 miles. That's a long scroll. That's millions of names and millions of children. And she was going to hide it and make a new one. Okay? Well, as it unraveled, it rolled and whoosh, it flew out the window. And like a candy cane tornado, it was gone. The elves gasped. The reindeers neighed and made all kinds of noise and everything. The nice list trembled in its golden case. I, on the other hand, was pretty calm. I looked out the window and at the swirl of snowy paper in the wind, and I chuckled. Looks like our naughty list is taking a sleigh ride of its own. I was trying to make a little fun of the moment. I turned to Pickle, and I gently asked, "Did you try to fix something on your own because you were worried about making a mistake?" Pickle nodded, tears in her eyes. She said, "I just wanted to make it right. I didn't want to be on the naughty list too." I kneeled down next to her. I said, "Oh, Pickle, the naughty list isn't punishment. It's a reminder that everyone makes mistakes once in a while, okay? What matters is what we do afterwards. When you choose to be kind, when you say you're sorry, or when you, that's the real Christmas spirit. We forgive everybody. We want everybody to be happy. Remember, if you have more good days than bad days, you're always going to be on Santa's nice list." Pickle blinked. "So I'm not in trouble?" "No, not at all," I smiled. I said, "You cared enough to make things better. That's what being nice is all about." With help from the list elves, Pickle recreated the naughty list. They double-checked the names, they added new ones, and even created a trying their best section, which was for the children who were learning and growing. And that year, the list had more crossed-off naughty names than ever before. They said sorry. She helped her little brother. He told the truth, even though it was hard. The spirit meter kept glowing brighter and brighter. More and more spirit meter vibes coming from all of the children doing good deeds and things. The spirit meter glowed so brightly the reindeer needed sunglasses. That's how bright the meter was. So why is this all important? because, children, remember this, okay? Making mistakes doesn't make you naughty, okay? But choosing kindness, saying, I'm sorry, and trying again when you do make a mistake, that's what makes you nice, okay? I think we've mentioned it on a couple of the podcasts. You know, helping out at home, setting the table, saying something nice to someone else. All of these are things that keep you on Santa's nice list. That's where I want all of you. I love all children, no matter what. But I love you very, very much when you're on the nice list, okay? So even Santa messes up sometimes. One time I even gave a cat a dog bed. That was wrong because it was too big, you know. Whoops. But again, sometimes the elves straighten me out. So don't worry if you slip up. You can always make things better for yourself, make things better for your family and everybody else. But that's the magic of Christmas and also of growing up. And every day I look at all of you and you keep growing and you look so beautiful. And that's what Santa loves, is seeing healthy, happy, growing children, and that you're always on the nice list. Okay? Okay. Well, that's the end of our story time for today. I hope you like that. It's a new story, so if you have any comments about it, why, I don't mind you writing a note and putting it on Santa as a podcast and telling me what you think. Okay? But before we sign off, it's time for our riddle of the week. Do you like the riddles? Remember we had a riddle earlier? Let's see if we can solve this one here. This is the riddle of the day. Are you ready? Here we go. I'm green and I'm mean. In a story, not real. But I learn to love and I start to feel. Who am I? Again, we're going to try this again. I'm green and I'm mean. That's in a story again, not real. Okay. I'm green and I'm mean, but I learn to love and I start to feel. Who am I? Okay, will you tune in next week? Okay, that's great. Well, that's it for my cheery little friends. I hope you all enjoyed the story today. I hope you know that I'm always wanting to make sure you're on the nice list. Remember, have more good days than bad days. You'll stay on Santa's nice list. And remember, I love all of you, my little gumdrops. You are so special, okay? Keep spreading the joy and kindness, and I'll talk to you next week on Santa Has a Podcast. Ho, ho, ho!
Santa's coming, Santa's coming.